Report released. We break down the key findings from the special counsel's investigation, including what it says about Florida, and get reaction from lawmakers on both sides.
Search for a shooter. We'll show you some shocking video and tell you how you can help track down a motorcyclist who opened fire in a case of road rage.
Switching cable providers wasn't easy for a Broward County man. He ended up with a bill in collections he says he didn't know. Coming up, find out how NBC6 Responds helped.
Live, the news on NBC6 at 6 starts now.
As he said from the beginning, there was, in fact, no collusion.
The special counsel made clear that he did not exonerate the president.
The report is out. After months of investigation and speculation, we're finally getting a chance to see the results of the special counsel's investigation into Russian interference into the 2016 election. Good evening once again. Thanks for joining us. I'm Juwan Strader.
And I'm Jackie Nesprell. A redacted version of the report was released late this morning. Here are some of the key findings. Special counsel Robert Mueller says President Trump's efforts to influence the investigation were mostly unsuccessful because people around him refused to carry out orders.
The investigation found that the Trump campaign expected to bid election interference, but did not establish coordination between the campaign and Russia.
NBC6 political reporter Steve Litz has been going over the report and joins us now in the studio with the details. Steve.
Hi, Jackie. Hi, Juwan. The report, more than 400 pages. Some look like this, almost completely redacted, and then there are other pages which are just partially redacted and some with just a couple of lines. So this does shed some new light on what Mr. Mueller found. It also says a lot about President Trump. The 448-page Mueller report out, much of it redacted with a reference to Florida. Under the topic of Russian intrusions targeting the administration of U.S. elections, the report says, we understand that the FBI believes this operation enabled the Russian intelligence to gain access to the network of at least one Florida county government. The report makes no mention of which county. Attorney General William Barr, who made the redactions, held a news conference before releasing the document to Congress and to the public.
The president's personal lawyers were not permitted to make and did not request any redactions. Significant portions of the report contain material over which the president could have asserted privilege, and he would have been well within his rights to do so.
The report found evidence of Russia interference in the 2016 election, but no collusion between the Trump campaign and the Russians. The president again celebrating today.
No collusion, no obstruction.
But the report paints a slightly different picture on the president's campaign's connection to Russia. Mueller wrote, while the investigation identified numerous links between individuals with ties to the Russian government and individuals associated with the Trump campaign, the evidence was not sufficient to support criminal charges. And upon first hearing that an investigation had been launched some 2 years ago, the president responded by saying, oh my God, this is terrible. This is the end of my presidency. I'm effed. Regarding then Attorney General Jeff Sessions not recusing himself from the investigation, the president said, how could you let this happen, Jeff? With Mr. Trump telling Sessions a special counsel ruins presidencies, saying years and years and I won't be able to do anything. This is the worst thing to ever happen to me. And a version of the report with fewer redactions will be made available to a small group of lawmakers known as the Gang of Eight. They are top-ranking House and Senate lawmakers from both parties, also the chairs and ranking members of the House and Senate Judiciary Committees. The group set to see those reports in the coming days. Live in the studio, I'm Steve Litz, NBC6 News.
Steve, thanks. And our team coverage continues with NBC6 reporter Jamie Gorola. He's live in Sunrise, where Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz spoke about the report late this afternoon.
So, Jamie, what's she saying tonight?
Yeah, Jackie and Juwan, well, Democrats, including Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who is in her office behind me and held a press conference, they are slamming the Attorney General's characterization of the report. They also want to hear Robert Mueller in person testify because they say in his report it is clear, they say, that the president attempted multiple times to obstruct justice. House and Senate lawmakers now calling for special counsel Robert Mueller to appear on Capitol Hill as soon as possible.
The special counsel made clear that he did not exonerate the president, and the responsibility now falls to Congress to hold the president accountable for his actions.
Democrats quickly highlighted portions of the Mueller report that appear to contradict President Trump's assertion that it represents total exoneration, pointing to examples within the document they say demonstrate the president obstructed justice.
Clear to me that the president and his team worked with the Russians or willingly accepted Moscow's help, and the president himself encouraged it.
Florida Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz says a clear example is the Russians' attempt to hack Hillary Clinton's emails 5 hours after he publicly asked them to at a press conference.
What has been really troubling is how recklessly and eagerly Donald Trump has been willing to damage our nation's institutions in order to cover all of this up. He's trashed law enforcement, he's challenged the rule of law, challenged our judiciary, even threatened the check of constitutional and congressional oversight, all just to hide the fact that he bed down with Putin.
Wasserman Schultz and other Democrats also blasted the Attorney General, calling him the president's attorney, accusing him of mischaracterizing the Mueller report, and some now even calling for him to resign.
The Attorney General did a grave disservice to the country by misrepresenting significant parts of the Mueller report, by attempting to put a positive spin for the president on the special counsel's findings.
All right, and now House Democrats are also subpoenaing the unredacted version of the Mueller report. Reporting live tonight in Sunrise, Jamie Garola, NBC6 News.
Jamie, thanks. And let's break down the special counsel's investigation right now. Robert Mueller's team took almost 2 years to complete its investigation and is estimated to have cost about $34 million. During that time, 34 people and 3 companies have been indicted, convicted, or pleaded guilty to crimes, including Russian nationals.
Now to compare here, the Whitewater investigation took more than 4.5 years and cost more than $50 million back in the 1990s. That led to 15 convictions, and the Iran-Contra investigation took 6.5 years and cost $47 million at the time. 14 people were indicted. Several were later pardoned. A Watergate investigation, by the way, took only 155 days.
And we've got more coverage of the Mueller report, including where you can read the whole thing for yourself.
It's all on the website, NBC6.com, and on the NBC6 app. Well, 2 women accused of stealing from a liquor store are behind bars tonight. Kimbriana and Shamise Johnson are charged with armed robbery and contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Police say that the women entered a liquor store in Doral with 2 children. While the employee was distracted, one of the women smuggled 2 bottles worth about $100 into her purse. Here's a look at that video. When the employee tried to confront them in the parking lot, one of the women pulled out a knife and then drove off. Police managed to track them down and arrest them shortly thereafter.
A man on a motorcycle opening fire on the road, shooting at another driver in an apparent case of road rage. The shocking encounter caught on camera. NBC6 reporter Natalia Ortiz is live right now with who police are looking for and how you can help catch him. Natalia.
Yeah, Jackie, the victim said that he was actually on his way to pick up his fiancée when a motorcyclist behind him became enraged and opened fire. A man says this motorcyclist shot up his 2014 Nissan Altima, leaving 2 bullet holes in his car, one that officials say could have been lethal.
When I finally got settled to a tire shop, I saw a bullet casing, come out of the door. And the officer said, it ricocheted, and if it didn't ricochet, it would have came straight from my head.
According to the victim, it started when he turned right on State Road 9 near Northwest 22nd Avenue, approaching the Golden Glades interchange. According to the FHP report, he approached a merge. That's when a person on a motorcycle rode up to the Nissan's passenger side and began arguing with the driver. The motorcyclist hit and cracked the side mirror and fled. The victim followed the suspect, so he stopped the bike, put the kickstand down, and fired several shots at the car.
Just get this guy off the street. You could be in the car, with your family, and this guy or someone else could just, be having a bad day and just kill innocent people, all because, something as silly as, you think someone cut you over or got in front of you, something like that.
Today, FHP is asking for your help in identifying the bike or the person on it.
So this all originated from a simple lane change. Somebody cut the other one off. They got into a verbal argument on the road.
So if you recognize the person on the bike or the bike itself, you can call FHP at 305-470-2500. Live in Opelika, Natalia Ortiz, NBC6 News.
Natalia, thank you. Well, two men find themselves in handcuffs after police say that they made some crude remarks to a teenager while trying to lure her into a vehicle. The Miami Southbridge High School student told police that the men approached her in an SUV while she was walking to school at the time. Investigators say that Juan Carlos Ferreira and Eric Kreisberg started to say vulgar things to her and waved at her to come inside the vehicle. She refused and immediately notified school officials. A short time later, Miami-Dade police found the pair nearby. Both men are facing charges tonight, including disorderly conduct and interfering with custody of a minor.
Well, new developments now in a story we've been following here at NBC6. A bill passing a House committee today that would make firefighters diagnosed with certain types of cancers automatically eligible to receive disability or death benefits. NBC6 reporter Laura Rodriguez has been reporting on this story. She joins us live with the update. Laura, this is really good news.
It is, and firefighters consider today a step in the right direction, but not necessarily a joyous occasion because they say anyone benefiting from this bill is diagnosed with cancer. It's more a sigh of relief. Graw, heart. A resounding yes from the Florida House State Affairs Committee. Lawmakers unanimously passed the firefighter cancer bill, and it's on to the next step.
You go into buildings that are burning to save somebody else. How could we not save you?
If approved and if the governor signs it, firefighters diagnosed with certain types of cancers would be eligible to receive disability and death benefits.
We've been through a long battle, and what we experienced today is a miracle.
A CDC study shows these first responders are at a 15% greater risk of developing cancer than the average person. Last week, an NBC6 report shed light on firefighter cancer prevention measures at the city of Miami and also highlighted the struggles families face when they lose loved ones to the illness.
I want to thank NBC6 and I want to thank you because I honestly believe that report touched the speaker's heart. And I can't say we would have had the same results without that report.
Before the report aired and before a meeting with Miami's fire chief, Speaker Jose Oliva said he believed this was an issue best dealt with at the local level. He's now had a change of heart and is backing the bill, saying after many, many years, this is the year it gets done.
Everybody out there has gotten cancer, and we deal with a lot of patients that have cancer. There's no joyous moment. The issue now is, or the remedy is, that when you get the cancer and you're a firefighter and you can't do your job, that at least your family will be taken care of.
And I touch base again with the families who lost their loved ones to cancer that you saw in my report last week. They say they are just overwhelmed and grateful that this is finally on the House floor after so many years. And of course, we will continue to monitor the legislative process right here on NBC6. Live in Miami, I'm Laura Rodriguez, NBC6 News.
A rough arrest in Tamarack is caught on camera. Cell phone video shows the moment a teen appears to be maced and then tackled by BSO deputies. Witnesses say the large crowd had formed outside a fast food restaurant because they believed a fight was about to break out between two people. No fight ever happened, but witnesses tell us officers were called and threatened to pepper spray the crowd if it didn't disperse. NBC6 reached out to Broward Sheriff's Office, and they said they are looking into the video.
Well, a man spent years trying to get out a bill out of collections. Then he called NBC6 Response.
My credit, I feel, is number one to me, and I like to protect that. And I thought it's going to be on my credit, and it's going to hurt me.
After the break, find out how NBC6 Response helped wipe out his debt and what you should know before switching cable providers.
Beach weather out there today, but much different tomorrow, and then big changes for the weekend. Stick around. I've got the forecast.